Before I begin discussing my topic, I would like to introduce myself first to the participants.
Hello there.
Are you curious about your resource speaker today? Well, let me introduce myself to the participants. My name is Dr. Mary Joyce G. Catudio, a resident of Cabagal South, Tagaytay City. A BSBA major in Business Management graduate of De La Salle University das Marinas City. A Master's in Business Administration graduate of Cavite State University Main Campus. A Doctor in Development Administration graduate of Philippine Christian University, Manila. I earned my secondary education units major in Technology and Livelihood Education at the National Teachers College, Manila. I am TESDA NC2 holder in bread and pastry production. I have teaching experiences with City College of Tagaytay, STI College Tagaytay, Dream Language Academy, Tagaytay City Science National High School Integrated Senior High School. Other professional achievements and experiences include awarded as the most promising encoder in January 2005 and as the top encoder in February 2005 by HRD, Singapore, PTE, Limited in Rosario Cavite. Licensed as professional teacher by PRC in 2011. Teaches core and higher management subjects in the collegiate level in School of Business and Management and City College of Tagaytay since 2012 and in STI College Tagaytay in 2016. Awarded as the Most Outstanding Organization Advisor by CCT on March 27, 2013. Delegated as the Department Coordinator for Business Administration in CCT in 2013. Appointed as the Dean for School of Business and Management in the City College of Tagaytay in year 2014 up to May 2017. Designed and passed the Bachelor of Science in Office Administration course in CCT in 2013. Served as a liaison officer during the APEC meeting held in Tagaytay City last 2015. Chair of the Board of Panel to Marketing Researches and Feasibility Studies in different schools and colleges in Tagaytay City. Seminar facilitator to different seminars, trainings and workshops related to business management, office management, marketing management, demo teachings, and the like. Motivational speaker to different trainings and seminars including the 16th Annual Business Character Training held at Tagaytay International Convention Center, and Personality Development, Decorum and Self-Regulation of 21st Century Learners Towards Moral Uprightness for Global Competitiveness. Rank 1 with the total points of 95.44 in the 2017 Registry of Qualified Senior High School Applicants, ABM track category in the Department of Education, Division of Cavite. Research subject teacher and coach with 100%, 21 out of 21, student research entries qualified in the 3rd OCT Research Fair on February 28, 2020 at Olivares College, Tagaytay City. Winning research coach. Awarded 3 bests out of 6 categories in the 3rd OCT Research Fair, Best in Community-Based Research for Students Level of Awareness on Waste Areas Assignment implemented in Tagaytay City Science National High School towards the realization of zero waste. Best in Gender and Development Research for the Pulse and SOGI Bill, Sexual Orientation and Gender Identity and Expressions Equity Bill Stance of Parents in TCS-NHS. Best in Value-Oriented Research for Troll the Truth, Impact of Political Trolls on the Discourse of Political Views Among Senior High School Students of Tagaytay City Science National High School. Exhibited study entitled, Entry-Level Skills and Competencies Requirements for Car Salesmen Toward an Enhanced Curriculum in Marketing Management during the International Research Paper Presentation initiated by Research Advocacy for Community Empowerment. International Organization for Standardization ISO 9001 to 2015 Lead Internal Quality Auditor during the first complete ISO cycle of Tagaytay City Science National High School. presently working as a part-time college instructor in CCT, and a regular permanent senior high school master teacher, International Organization for Standardization ISO 9001-2015 facilitator, partnership and linkages coordinator for senior high school, and work immersion coordinator in Tagaytay City Science National High School Integrated Senior High School. I hope you will find our webinar today as fruitful and meaningful. Happy learning!
Hello there. Before we begin, I would like to express my gratitude to City College of Tagaytay for inviting me to impart knowledge and share my thoughts about this assigned topic, which is students' adaptability in the new normal education. To our college president, Ma'am Pasita Aquino, thank you very much, ma'am. Our college registrar, Dr. Hazel Garcia, Dean for School of Business and Management, Dr. Jennifer Abellana. Thank you very much, ma'ams. And special mention to Ma'am Faith Maranan for convincing me to be one of the resource speakers in this webinar series of School of Business and Management. And regards to all the faculty and staff of CCT, and especially to my SBN family, thank you for the trust and support. So for today's webinar objectives, the participants will be able to gain better understanding of the barriers to students' adaptability in the new normal education. Realize possible teachers' actions in addressing the barriers for successful students' adaptability in the new normal education, and review areas for improvement and come up with courses of actions to realize or improve students' adaptability in the new normal education. So let us define what is adaptability. So according to Oxford Dictionary, adaptability is the quality of being able to adjust to new normal conditions. Nakapag-adjust na ba tayo sa new normal conditions? New normal education? With regards to new conditions, much has been written, much has been said, much has been flashed about the new normal in the society as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to spread in different countries around the world. The new normal involves higher levels of health precautions. Our government continues to enforce strict measures to contain the spread of the virus. As to compare before the pandemic, ayan, we are allowed to gather together with physical presence. Unlike today's new normal environment, we are required to follow social distancing as one of the safety measures. In the normal classroom, we conduct face-to-face classes. We are able to witness with our own eyes the actual progress of our students. We are able to witness their learning behavior in the classroom. Our students are able to immediately express their understanding of the lesson. They can immediately throw their questions. They can immediately respond to our questions. They can interact and collaborate with other students and just follow their class schedules. Today, learning and teaching will be done remotely. There is a physical distance between teachers and students, between teachers and teachers, between students and students. So in terms of giving definition to students' adaptability, Students' adaptability is the ability of a student to adjust to the new normal education environment. Nakapag-adjust na ba talaga yung ating mga estudyante? Especially for incoming first year freshmen, because they have not yet experienced this distance learning. Unlike our second year, incoming second year, third year, and fourth year, they have already experienced online classes last semester. So somehow, they have already ideas on how the distance learning or the flexible learning will be conducted. But not 100% of our students were able to adapt to the new normal education or distance learning last semester. And that was obvious on the grading sheets that we have submitted to the school. There was an increase in terms of the number of students who got INC or incomplete marks on the grading sheets. Students gave their feedbacks and shared their experiences during the students' evaluation conducted by the guidance office. And we were given opportunity by the school through our guidance counselor, Sir Arvid, to become aware of this. Thank you, Sir Arvid, for that. That was really a great job. At least now we know what are the areas for improvement. Now we know what are the challenging encounters of our students aside from the positive feedbacks that we receive from our students last semester. So these are the challenging encounters that teachers need to address now that we have more time to prepare ourselves, now that we have more time to prepare our students, to orient the parents to adapt to the new normal education during this trying time. Understanding and orienting ourselves on the possible scenario or situation of our learners at home in this trying time will give us gist on what are the possible barriers of our students in realizing their adaptability to new normal education. Okay, before I continue, if you would like to state your insights, you may type in the comment box. If you have question, you may type in at the comment box. And then after the webinar, I will be reading all of your questions and I will respond to your questions as much as possible. So I will be presenting the barriers to students' adaptability in the new normal education. Oops, wait lang po. So I've asked some of my students, neighbors, and relatives who have experienced online classes, both synchronous and asynchronous mode. So we are, most of us naman are already aware of difference between synchronous and asynchronous mode of online learning. So when we say synchronous, real time, live, there is a live interaction between the teacher and the students and the students. They follow talaga yung class schedule. When we say naman asynchronous, it is not real time. Pero the materials and the activities were already given to the students ahead of time, before the week starts, so that they can accomplish, they can study their lesson at their most convenient time. Pero we'll still provide schedule. Pero it is up to them if they will follow their schedule or they will do learn their lesson at their most convenient time. What is important ay before the deadline, bago mag deadline or during the deadline, they are able to submit their outputs. Okay. So, I've actually asked the students about their experiences, and these are their challenging encounters during their online classes. So, disclaimer lang po, These are not their real names. I actually use screen names to hide their identities. So, ayan po. Itago natin sila sa pangalang Leo, Paul, Carlo, Fatima, Anna, and Kathy. Okay. Sabi ni Leo, some of my teachers do not give clear explanation of the lessons and instructions on the activities. This means that the instructor or teacher was not able to give clear explanation. So in this scenario, there is an instructor or teacher issue, which is considered as one of the barriers to students' adaptability in the classroom. Yan. Instructor or teacher's issues. Lack of explanation and instruction. Students need to know what to do, how you want them to do it, how to submit it to you. They also will need a way to send you questions. They have to know it. Instructions should be given to the students, and they will need to know when and how you will respond to their question. Sabi dito, sa presentation, lack of explanation leads to over-analyzation. It is true. Kasi if there is lack of explanation, there might be different understanding or different interpretation. Let's say if you will be giving, let's say the teacher will be giving material and there is no clear explanation on the materials given, there will be different interpretation. It will be difficult on the part of the students to accomplish the outputs, to cope up with the lesson. That's why there are some students, they have the same activity, pero iba yung kanilang understanding on how the activity will be accomplished. It is not distance that keeps people apart, but lack of communication. So another barrier under actually instructor or teacher issues is the lack of interaction or communication. Teachers are not able to process the learning and understanding of the learners, unlike in the classroom, that we can ask follow-up questions or higher order thinking skills, question the HOTS to check if they have meaningful learning of the lesson. Another teacher or instructor issue as barrier to students' adaptability in the new normal education is late course materials. The late delivery of course materials will take away the chance of the student or students to download the files and review the materials. When we promise to our students that we will be sending them the materials, please do so. Let us do what we promise to get the trust of our students and to hold their interest and make them engage. Another barrier under instructor or teacher's issues is do not know how to teach online. The instructor or teachers do not know how to teach online. The pandemic situation has pushed us, educators, to turn to remote teaching, or what we refer to as new normal education. This is sudden shift from traditional classroom setup to virtual learning brought us more challenges and pushed us to adapt with the new norms in education, to upgrade our skills, to reach our students and effectively deliver our lessons to our learners. These challenges are passed on to the students. Our difficulties are also shared to our students. They know if the teachers are not prepared. They know if the teachers do not know how to if the teachers do not know how to manage online class. Because this time, aside from the whiteboard, chalkboard, we will be using technology. We will utilize technology so that we will be able to deliver learning to the students in this time of pandemic through distance learning. Teachers must be the first one to adopt to the new normal education before the students. So let's go to Paul. Okay. Sabi ni Paul, I cannot understand some of the e-materials sent by teachers, sabi ni Paul. So this will actually fall or considered as academic skills, as one of the barriers of students' adaptability to the new normal education. Lack of language, writing, mathematical and communication skills, low reading comprehension hinder the adaptability of a student to a new normal education. Adjustment will be difficult to the students, especially if the students prefer to learn in person, wherein they would like to see the detailed procedures on how the instructor derived an answer. We can see that on the illustration. Teacher for them is their number one visual aid. And since normal classroom setup shifted to virtual learning, there will be absence of their number one visual aid, especially during asynchronous and offline learning modalities. Some students choose easy or easier lessons, easier assignments, easier activities than difficult activities. Ayaw nila ng nahihirapan. Kung before nga, during the classroom setup, it is already difficult for them to understand the lesson. The teacher is present. The teacher is giving the full details and full explanation of the topic. Very difficult for them to understand. So, what more for some of the students that they will be just relying on the modules? Okay, let's hear Carlo. Let's know ano yung kanyang challenging encounter. Okay. I find it complicated and confusing to use different learning platforms used by my teachers in different subjects. Unfamiliar with online learning technical tools. Under technical skills. as barrier to students' adaptability in the new normal. It will be really confusing and complicated on the part of the students if their teachers are using different learning platforms. Let us say one teacher is using Messenger. Another teaching is using Facebook group. Another teacher is using Code2B. For other subject, they use Google Classroom. For another subject, they use Microsoft Teams. For another subject, they use Moodle. They are not yet familiar with one platform, but then they have to familiarize and learn other platforms. It actually took us time to learn how to utilize these different platforms, especially Google Classroom. Diba? It took us a week or more than a week to familiarize Google Classroom, to fully utilize Google Classroom. So what more for our students whom we cannot give our full technical assistance? Since it is not part of our lesson, we cannot guide them one by one in terms of using technology. So yan po yung ating mga platforms. How about Fatima? Okay. According to Fatima, I cannot find a perfect study space at home. There are a lot of interruptions. It only shows that there is no conducive learning space at home. So this is actually under learners' motivation as barrier to students' adaptability in the new normal education. No conducive learning space at home. There are a lot there is a lot of interruptions around. Okay, so distance learning environment is not inherently motivating. We always say during the face-to-face classes that it is important to provide the students conducive learning environment. So as at their home, they need conducive learning space. Sometimes may nanonood ng TV. 'Di ba? Hindi, not lahat ng bahay malaki. Not naman ng malaking bahay ay tahimik. So as with lack timely feedback from instructor. Yan. Let us know how we are doing. The students would like to know. Tell us, teachers, how we are doing. Instructor do not give timely feedback on the progress of the students. They do not even know if they have the correct understanding and interpretation of the lessons. Their questions are not answered by teachers on time, especially if the question of the student was posted on group chat and the classmates saw it. The teacher did not respond. The students will feel he was rejected by the teacher and the classmates witnessed the rejection. And there will be tendency that other students will no longer ask questions because they don't want to feel the same. They don't want to experience the same. Ayan. Ano kaya yan? Okay? Under learners' motivation as barrier, we also have boring course materials. So some students are bored with plain text, super small text, course materials. Sisimulan pa lang nilang buklatin, inaantok na, tinatamad na. Especially those materials na hindi man lang naka-layout at naka-outline. Another, under learners' motivation is lack of social interaction. Unlike in the normal classroom setup, students have to collaborate with the classmate, ask help from peers. Tasks and activities of a students are shared to other students. That's why others feel isolated. They feel that they are isolated. Okay, let's move on to Anna. Okay. My time is not enough to learn my lesson. I am also busy doing the household chores and taking care of my daughter. This shows that some students have inefficient time to learn online because of a lot of factors like responsibilities at home. This is under the time and support for students as one of the barriers to students' adaptability in the new normal education. Yan. Okay? So, parang wala kulang ang oras para sa kanila because of lot of responsibility. So, they have insufficient time to learn online. Yan. The, it is illustrated on the presentation. Diba? Some students are student slash parent slash employee slash wife slash child. And they find it difficult to manage their time in terms of doing this task at home. Another, under time and support for studies, under the as barriers to students' adaptability in the new normal education is, ayan, lack support from family. This is also considered as a barrier to students' adaptability because some parents do not believe that their children are doing school works or studying. They assumed that their kids are just making excuses to excuse themselves from household chores, household tasks, so as to asking for money to buy load or data. Let's move on to Cathy. Nalungkot ako doon. Okay. So for Cathy, sabi niya, as challenging encounter, I share gadget with family members. We have, sorry for the typographical error, we have poor internet signal at home. Availability of resources. Is one of the barriers to students' adaptability to the new normal education. So availability of resources is one of the barrier of the students in this case. No gadgets available, or gadgets do not have capacity to run online learning tools. Gadget used by more than one family members for distance learning. They have to consider scheduling. Okay. No or, ano kaya yan? No or slow internet connection. So buffering lang. Loading lang siya. No signal at home is also a problem. There are some students or parents, even teachers, want to apply for data plan, but no available slot in the area. Another is no reference books available at home. Unlike in the normal school with open library. Money. lack of money to buy or spend for other resources. So these are the challenging encounters of our students. These are the barriers of our students barriers to students adaptability in the new normal classroom. So isa-isahin uli natin. Instructor or teacher's issues. Second is academic skills. Third is technical skills. Fourth is learner's motivation. Fifth is time and support for studies. And last is availability of resources. So I categorize the barriers to 6, but the barriers are not limited to these 6. There are other barriers pa. So these are collective. So based from the webinars that I've attended, from the uh, different resources. Pero again, hindi lang po limited dito yung barriers. So again, if you have insights, if you want to share possible teachers' actions to address the barriers for successful students' adaptability in the new normal education. So later po at the second part, I will be discussing that. I will be presenting that. So for now, I hope that you have learned something during the first part of my presentation. So we will be giving you a break. So see you po later.